say no. Well, yeah, in Pennsylvania, I can say no, because Pennsylvania is like basically one landowner, one vote. New York passed, before anybody knew really what was happening, a law called compulsory integration or forced pooling, which means that if 60% of the land in a 1,200 acre parcel in New York is leased, that means the gas companies can drill under everybody. You don't have to sign. They'll just drill right under you. Now, in that case, if the moratorium is lifted and you're in one of those parts, now it's not one person, one vote, it's about acreage. So if, let's say you have 20 acres and your neighbor has 1,180 and they signed, they can drill right under you in New York. And they will then come, the gas company will come to you and say, well, you better sign this lease because we're gonna drill under you anyway. Well, my advice is don't sign that lease because, first of all, if you sign it and something goes wrong, you can't sue because you've likely given up your rights to sue, right? And you can't sue yourself once you've signed. And from what I've seen, everywhere I've gone, and I mean this very sincerely, everywhere I've gone, and I've been a lot of places, there's problems. Big problems. Problems with water, problems with air, problems with health, problems with people's basic property and civil rights, problems with feeling completely run over by these companies, transformation of areas, the character of the area. Now some people want their area transformed, you know, but this is a heavy-duty industrialization process. I was in Towanda 3 days ago. It used to be a sleepy little town in Pennsylvania. And see one of my friends from Citizens Campaign for the Environment. And it took me, I was going to a press conference because there was this massive well blowout in, it's in Bradford County. Leroy, thanks. And I was going from Wysox to Towanda, and it's one road, it's Route 6, it's a great road, it's one of the best roads in Pennsylvania, it goes all across the north of Pennsylvania. It took me an hour to go 3 miles. Because there was truck after truck after truck, I counted, I don't know, 150 water trucks, all water, fresh water going one way, residual waste going the other way. And there are no adequate treatment, there are not enough adequate treatment facilities for this wastewater. The gas industry does not know what to do with the wastewater. Well, they dump it out. So it is, they're legally allowed to spread it on roads as salting the roads in Pennsylvania, or as dust suppressant on dirt roads. It's one of the most hazardous materials that we know of in the United States, and they're legally allowed without a treatment program to classify the waste on their own, even though a lot of it's radioactive. You read the New York Times, there's this brilliant 3-part series. Came out on February 27th, and then the subsequent every 2 days came out for 3 installments. And they're spreading it out on the roads in Pennsylvania. And PA is like, well, we lost 50 million gallons of this. We don't know where it went. This is what it means to do this without any control. This is why when those signs say responsible, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's just they just put that on there to make people feel better. Because what it really means is we want our money now, even though we're willing to sacrifice the area for it.
In the case of EPA, the pesticide handling, and with all the waste that's being dumped in the water sources, so who's going to jail for that? Who the heck is going
You,
to jail?
if you protest. Probably me when I protest. Who's going to jail for Dunkard Creek in Western PA, or for all of this that's happening? See, this is the problem. Look, if I was exempt from the law that said you can't rob a bank, I could make a lot of money. There were a lot of people who were exempt from that law. That was the movie that did win the Oscars. Remember how that had $700 billion, $7 trillion, billion, whatever it was. Those bankers. But for example, if I'm exempt from the law that says I can put toxins directly into rivers and streams, Clean Water Act, or be irresponsible to a degree to which the storm water runs off the floodplain and it all just washes in. Or I'm exempt from the law that says, the Safe Drinking Water Act monitors underground injection of chemicals. It was created so that corporations could not pump toxic chemicals under the ground without reporting that to the EPA. So they're exempt from that law now. There's a way to petition to get that exemption reversed, which is the frack act. If you go to gaslandthemovie.com, you can send a letter to your legislators about the frack act on a federal level. And this is like square one. It's the Safe Drinking Water Act that protects us all. It was a Nixon administration law. It shouldn't be controversial. Sorry.
So you're saying it's okay, I have my pesticide pack on me. It's okay, I can stick that pesticide all in the stream water?
I'm not really sure what you mean by pesticides. I mean the biocides that are in the fracking fluid?
The biohazard pack,
right.
And have all the pesticides inside my pack all through the water. And
well, if you're the gas drilling industry and you're using those chemicals to frack, the answer is yes.